This is the Side Hustle Show with Nick Loper, episode 34, a subscription-based service business in your spare time.
Welcome to the Side Hustle Show, where aspiring part-time entrepreneurs learn how to turn their side hustle dreams into reality. Because your 9 to 5 may make you a living, but your 5 to 9 makes you alive. And now, your host, Nick Loper.
Hey everybody, Nick Loper here. Welcome to the Side Hustle Show. This is episode 34, a subscription-based service business in your spare time. I'm joined by Ryan Cote from WPAmplify.com, who actually joined me on his lunch break from his day job. How cool is that? He's actually got his side business up to $4,500 a month, and that's largely recurring revenue from small business clients. It's awesome stuff. I can't wait to get into it. But first, as per the usual, I do have a quick shout out for Christina this time for a new 5-star iTunes review. She says, always walk away with new information. In the business entrepreneurship world, podcasts and blogs can get a bit stale with the same content regurgitated over and over again. But the Side Hustle Show is refreshing because it provides interesting angles, actionable takeaways, and fun guests. Christine, thank you so much for that, and best of luck with your own podcast launch. I know you're going to crush it. Hey, all the show notes for this episode are at sidehustlenation.com/episode 34. Okay, you guys ready? Let's do it. Hey, Ryan, welcome to the Side Hustle Show.
Thanks, Nick. Excited to be here.
I'm excited for this show too. So everybody, Ryan's a fellow side hustler, a family man, a real estate investor. He's been involved in the internet marketing world for more than a decade and has seen plenty of highs and lows like everybody, and which he talks about at his site, internetbusinesspassion.com. But I think he's onto something really big with his latest project, a small business SEO service that's now generating $4,500 a month in revenue. That's just outstanding. So Ryan, take me back in time. How does a side hustle of this magnitude get started?
Well, I mean, I come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I think that helps a little bit with my motivation and ambition towards my various side hustles. And like you said, I've been involved with this stuff for more than a decade. So I've always had different side hustles going on, from network marketing, AdSense sites, e-commerce, affiliate marketing. But when I had an e-commerce site as a side hustle. It was going well. I sold it, and then I was looking for my next project. And I knew I was good at SEO. I had started developing, a good skill set with search engine optimization, and I figured it was something that I could provide to small businesses. And it just kind of snowballed from there. I mean, I started contacting small businesses, started getting clients. And so my side hustle right now is called WP Amplify. I help small businesses that have WordPress websites optimize their site, generate more leads, support the site, and I have a bunch of clients I help on the side, and it's turned into a pretty cool side hustle.
Yeah, that's awesome. So tell me about how you're getting those first few clients. Like you don't have much of a portfolio to build off. Well, you got your personal stuff or your past projects to speak of. But so you just go and knocking on doors, like, in your hometown?
Yeah, so I mean, getting clients is definitely tough. It's definitely a wear down process. I use a bunch of different strategies. I mean, kind of taking a step back, the reason this became, it's recurring income, right, with the side hustle. But when I started out the SEO, my original plan was actually not to make it recurring. As weird as that sounds, my original plan was to do like these SEO booster shots where I'd help clients with like one-time optimizations, build some links out and drip them out, and not be locked into monthly contracts with a client where there's obligations every month. But I quickly learned that that's, getting new clients, if I get a new client and it's only a one-time thing, I have to find a new client, that would get old pretty quickly. And it wasn't in the best interest of my clients to only be doing these one-time booster shots for SEO. Okay. And as you probably know now with SEO, that's even more impossible because SEO is just, it's semi-chaos now.
It's a constant battle. So there's some value in kind of having – for the company standpoint, I don't have to worry about that now. I've got my guy on it,
Yeah, every month. So it's so to go back to your question, how to get new clients, the website's a big factor. Generating, constantly tweaking that and trying to get targeted traffic to the site like any business, and then convert that into a lead, and then hopefully sell them on becoming a client. I'm starting to get into a little bit of paid traffic, to get new clients with Facebook ads and a little bit of pay-per-click, a little bit of social media. It all works kind of synergistically. I do some outreach to my existing contacts and some cold outreach. But my secret sauce for getting new clients, and something that has really been monumental with growing my side hustle, because it's been 3 years now since I've been doing this particular side hustle, is strategic partnerships. It's been absolutely enormous for me. Finding companies that are complementary to my service but not competitive. So in my case, it's PPC, pay-per-click vendors, and website designers. So they have clients, especially website designers. They have clients, they design a website for them, then they refer them to me for a monthly commission. So,
wow, okay.
Yep, I'm taking care of their clients, and they're getting a monthly commission. And that's been my secret sauce. That's probably been, and then referrals, of course, but I would say strategic partnerships has been my number one way to get new clients.
Okay. No, that's really smart. So it's like, what's the old joke in the SEO business? Just Google SEO company and hire whoever comes up on top. So it's a little bit different tactic than that. So that's pretty smart. Now, how do you decide on pricing for this stuff? How what's the value to the companies?
Like, how do I determine what to charge them?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, what's the going rate, or does that even matter?
No, yeah, there's a lot. I mean, the typical clients that I work with, they're on average, they're paying me $600 a month, but I have some that are less if they don't need the actual support part of my service. There is a lot of variables with it, because if I'm working with a really super competitive a client in a really super competitive niche, that would go up a little bit. Or if in some cases I've got clients that are paying a little bit less if they're only looking for really specific geo-targeted organic rankings. But on average, I'm getting anywhere from $500 to $600. That's the typical client that I go after. The bigger guys, the ones that are in really big niches, or they have a lot of money to spend, I tend to shy away from that, because they require more hand holding, and as a side hustle, it's really hard to hold their hand too much. So my sweet spot seems to be $500 to $600 a month.
Okay. And what does that buy the client in terms of the work that you do, in terms of the time investment on your side?
Yeah, so I don't price based on my time. I end up always putting a lot of time into this, but I don't say, hey, for X amount of hours you're going to get this. I base it purely on value. They're paying me, let's say $500 a month, and are they getting leads from it, and are they making more than they're spending with me? And the typical client I'm working with, whether it be a lawyer or a fertility doctor or hardwood flooring specialist, a new client to them is worth a lot of money. So I always look at it from an ROI point of view, but the basics of what they get is my consulting. I'm there to answer any questions they want help with, keyword research, the initial optimization of their website for those keywords, monthly link building, and then I'm also now doing something I hadn't been doing a couple of years ago, but now I'm doing because of all the changes in Google, is blogging for them every month, and promoting the content. So it's not just links anymore.
Okay. Now, are you doing all the work yourself, or do you have a team in place to help do these links and write these blog posts?
I have a team. Yeah, I have a team. I have a team for link building. I have a team for content. Some of the stuff I do myself, like keyword research and tweaking the site for those keywords, and then posting the actual blog posts. But I have a team that will write the content for me and build links. And then in that case, I kind of just oversee them. It's kind of like project management. Mm-hmm. I use Google Docs for that, just to keep on top of what everyone's doing. So it's very manageable. I know it sounds like a lot, and having a professional service as a side hustle, it's definitely work, because you've got companies that are depending on you for whatever you're offering them. But if you set up certain processes and you have the right team, it's definitely manageable. I've been doing it for 3 years now. So
right. I was trying to brainstorm what other kind of services like would lend itself to this kind of model on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
Like SEO is perfect for it because the algorithms are constantly changing, and it's just always a battle to stay up at the top of the rankings. Any other services that kind of come to mind for this stuff?
I mean, any kind of marketing, really. I mean, pay-per-click, social media, SEO, even marketing consulting on a general basis. I think marketing lends itself very well to a recurring model. IT, computer type stuff, like off the top of my head, I can imagine a small business needing help on a monthly basis with, because, I know with my full-time job, IT stuff is always coming up,
Yeah.
like computers going down and this and that. So we're on a monthly retainer with them. So I would imagine, like computer IT stuff would be a good recurring model for a side hustle. Even on web design, I mean, I know web design is typically a one-time project, but you always need tweaks after the site's built, so some sort of monthly maintenance package or some sort of support package where the web designer is doing updates and doing security scans and checking for viruses every month and just kind of staying on top of it, whereas a typical business owner might not have time for that type of stuff. And even like out of the box stuff, like before we spoke, I was thinking about this, and I have two small daughters, 3 and 1, and my wife and I take them to a photographer. And this isn't a side hustle for her, but you could do photography as a side hustle, I guess, on the weekends. It's not ideal,
that's what my wife does.
Oh, really? Oh, there you go. So now might be a good idea for you then, for your wife. So my photographer, so as soon as our 2 babies were born, we go in for basically quarterly photo shoots. So she takes pictures of the baby when like 2 weeks. I think it's 1 month old. It's every quarter.
Okay.
And then at the end of the year, you get a nice book of all the pictures of like basically the baby, being born, and then when he or she is 1 year old. So it's not monthly reoccurring income, but it's quarterly reoccurring income, and it adds a reoccurring model or reoccurring element to something that's traditionally
typically
a one-time
deal. No, that's cool. That's a good idea. So what's your day job? Just curious.
It's a company that was started in the mid-'60s by my grandfather's brother called the Ballantine Corporation. We do the core service is direct mail printing, like the stuff you get in your mailbox.
Okay.
But I also we have a digital division, and I handle SEO for the digital division, and we work with companies that are much bigger than what I'm dealing with on my side hustle.
And okay, so it's bigger. That's what I was kind of getting at. So it's a marketing company, but they don't have any issue with this SEO business on the side as like a conflict of interest, or those should be our clients or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, yeah, I guess it is a. I guess I'm walking. I don't want to say a fine line because I'm very conscious. Like I don't do any of this during my work hours. It's all before and after work or after work, depending on what my schedule is. Right. And I'm going after a typical client for Ballantine Digital. They're paying us up to $2,000 a month, so I'm attracting a much different kind of company versus my side hustle. So I'm very conscious of not getting the two blurred. So right now, no, there is no issue. And to be honest, the skills that I've learned on my side hustle with just SEO and managing expectations and managing clients, it's helped me a lot with the full-time job because I've been doing the side hustle longer on the digital side versus my full-time job. So, yeah. But good question. That's a good question.
So you mentioned that you don't have any contracts to keep the billing going month after month, but it's more just like, hey, if you see the return on investment, if you see the value on this, that's kind of how the recurring billing is set up.
Yeah, so I don't have contracts. I recently implemented agreements where I basically outline what I'm doing for them, and they sign it that they are acknowledging what I'm doing for them. I use a electronic signature service called HelloSign. I'm not affiliated with them. I'm just mentioning it because that's what I use.
Okay.
So I have all signed agreements, but I don't have contracts, and there is the benefit of having a contract, of course, because you've got that predictable income of 6 months or a year or whatever. But I encourage your audience, if they're thinking about starting professional services as a side hustle, see if you can make it work without the contract. Have an agreement in place, but I would encourage them not to have a contract, because it just lowers the barrier for them signing up with you. Then they know that they're not committing to a year engagement. And on your end, on my end and your audience's end, it just forces you to have to prove yourself every month, which is, it's tough, but it's a big selling point when you're trying to get new clients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They know that. They know every month you have to prove your worth, because every month they're going to see that charge on their credit card bill, and they're going to even if you're doing a great job, they're going to question, is this the guy or girl for me? Should I continue doing this? And so you have to constantly prove yourself.
And on the technical side, do you do just recurring billing through PayPal or something?
Yeah, I do PayPal. Most of my clients are on automatic. They just get their credit card gets billed every 30 days until they cancel. I have some that I have one that wants me to send them an invoice through the mail, and they pay by check.
Okay.
But I try to get them signed up on, so I don't have to worry about payments. It just comes in automatically. So PayPal's good. There's a bunch of others. I know people say PayPal sometimes holds your money. I've never had any issues, to be honest with you. So I just use them because it's kind of universal. Everyone knows them.
Right. Do you have any pushback when, so you've done 3 months, 4 months, 6 months of SEO work, you've gotten your client from the dark ages up to the first page of Google, and then they say, well, hey, we don't need you anymore, we're on the first page now?
Not well, because most of them I'm doing blogging too. So okay. I'm constantly emailing them the blog posts, and they like seeing that new content on their site. And I think with at least my side hustle, it's all about setting expectations. I made sure that they know that SEO is not a permanent thing. That even when you get to that first page, there is maintenance required, because they're not the only company doing it. There's competitors that want their spots. So there is a certain maintenance element of it, and also, once they establish certain rankings, we can look at new keywords and optimizing new pages. And so there's always something that, once you reach that first page, there's always something else to do. There's other keywords to go after, like I said, or other pages to optimize or maintain those rankings, or try to get them a little bit higher, or focus more on the blogging. So there's always something that needs to be done.
Okay, I like it. So anything else we should consider if somebody else is trying to think of doing this? So we've covered kind of the strategic partnerships, which I really like, structuring it not as a contract, but as a recurring model that somebody can see the results on a monthly basis. And so what else should people consider if they're trying to do a similar service business on the side?
I think that you have to understand that communication is key when you're doing a professional services side hustle, especially because you're doing reoccurring. It's a reoccurring charge. You don't want to go dark on the client. You want to make sure that you need to know. They need to know that you're constantly thinking about their business, and it doesn't mean you need to overwhelm them with constant communication. But just to give you an example of what I'll do. The blogging, we blog twice per month for each client. So twice a month they're getting an email from me with, here's the latest blog post. I also do a monthly newsletter to my clients, and then I'll shoot them off, random updates here and there, so that they know that I'm constantly thinking about their business, and that, they're not wondering, hey, is this person doing anything?
Okay.
So I would definitely recommend to your audience, communication is key. Make sure that your clients know that you're thinking about them. And on that note, something new that I'm doing, I think, is a really cool tool that anyone thinking about doing professional services as a side hustle definitely needs to consider, is CRM, customer relationship management. The tool that I'm using, again, not affiliated, just who I'm using, it's called Ace of Sales. Have you heard about them?
I haven't heard of Ace of Sales. I was trying Contactually for a little bit, but then couldn't buck up and pay for it.
Ace of Sales is a company. There's a sales guy called Jeffrey Gitomer. He's a crazy sales guy. He teaches sales training or whatever. Okay. And he came out with this product called Ace of Sales. I'm not sure if he still owns it, but that's not important. So Ace of Sales is a CRM tool that enables you to keep track of your contacts, send really slick-looking professional emails. But what I'm using it for, too, is you can send direct mail through the tool itself. Not the kind of direct mail that we're talking about with my full-time job. This is like one-off kind of a greeting card type stuff. So what I just did for the holidays, we're recording this middle of December, so I just sent a happy holidays card to all my clients from within Ace of Sales. So they're getting a greeting card that looks like I sent it to them with a first-class stamp, thanking them for their business. It's personalized.
Wow.
So I was
going to ask if it was an email or if it was like a real card.
No, it's a real card. It comes in like a
classy. That's classy.
I know, it's great. I sent one to myself, and my wife got it. She's like, "Wow, that's really nice looking." I know. It took me like 2 minutes to send from the dashboard. I have all my contacts uploaded. I just pick the design, write the little message. It pulls in their first name, and it goes to whoever printer they use, and it gets delivered like 4 or 5 days later, and it's not that expensive. So I think that personal kind of touch will keep. As long as you're getting results for your clients in whatever professional service you choose. As long as you're getting results, as long as you're keeping communication with them, and as long as they have the budget, of course, every month, those kind of personal touches like that, like the greeting cards, whether you use an Ace of Sales type tool or you mail it out, the manual way, that kind of personal touch I think is really key to keeping them a customer for a long time.
Yeah, you keep like you said, the results matter first, but then the second part is if you're kind of staying in constant contact, in front of mind. I really like that.
Yeah, I think it's been working really well. So, other things I can tell you is that, if your audience is trying to think about if they are interested in doing professional services as a side hustle, it's just think about, like, what are you good at? What kind of – everyone's got a certain skill. Everyone's got a skill set that they've developed over the years. So I would start by thinking, like, what am I good at? Jot down the ideas. For me, it was the SEO thing was obvious. I knew because that's just something I had taken an interest to and I had been doing for myself. But think about, like, what are you good at? And what could you actually provide to a business owner that would be valuable? And even things that you are semi-good at but you could quickly develop into a skill. Because small business owners, if that's a niche you're going after, they're short on time and they need experts to help them with certain things. So, jot down what you're good at and then think about, what can, how much value can I provide to a business owner with this service? Would they pay monthly for it? And just jot down all the ideas, jot down everything you got, everything that comes to mind, and then just start analyzing each specialty in more detail, and then figure out which one you think is the best, and what does your gut tell you, and just go for it.
I like it. Yeah, a friend of mine told me the story the other day where he was like driving down the road. He saw like these little roadside like lawn signs basically for a CrossFit gym, except like it had like, I don't know, 100 words of text and like a tiny phone number on the sign or something. He was like, "This is terrible. I'm driving by 30 miles an hour. I'm never going to read this sign and remember what the phone number was." So he calls up this gym. And he's like, you need help with your marketing. I'm going to change this sign for you. And so they put like CrossFit 1 week trial or something, and phone number. And he's like, "Hey, I started getting calls like right away. And so now my friend, for him and his whole family, free CrossFit membership. And so he's like, "Hey, that would be $300 or $400 a month, for the whole family." So even if it's not for money, here's a little barter agreement they've got set up.
So why doesn't your friend do? It sounds like he's a copywriter or something. Why doesn't he do copy for small business for business owners or something?
Yeah, he's got a paid element of it too, for sure. Okay,
yeah, that's yeah. I mean, marketing there's so much you could do with it. There's so many different facets of marketing that lend itself to recurring revenue. So that's pretty neat. It's pretty neat.
Super cool. Hey, Ryan, let's wrap up with your number one tip for Side Hustle Nation.
Number one tip, and I kind of mentioned this, but I really want to stress this because I think it's really important that if you are going to start a professional service, is strategic partnerships. It's really and even in my full-time job, honestly, on the digital side, I have strategic partnerships there too, and we do on the print side, direct mail. We work with consultants that refer business to us for a commission. It's the best of both worlds because they're getting some commission out of it, and they know that you're going to take care of your client. There's already that trust. There's already that trust element. Like their client trusts them, and they're referring them to you, and so they there's no like that salesman. The defenses don't go up. The trust is already there. So I would definitely think about all the different strategic partnerships that you can develop. And sometimes you only need a couple to make a difference. Like on my side hustle, I've got 2 key strategic partnerships that keep me very busy with new business. So I would definitely urge your audience to, once they figure out what that service is that they're going to provide to companies, figure out obviously what they're going to do to get new business and stuff. But one of those things should definitely be strategic partnerships.
Find the complementary, the ancillary services that your client would also be in the market for. That makes perfect sense. I really like that one.
Yeah. It's been important for me.
Awesome. Ryan, thanks so much. Hey, everybody, check Ryan out at wpamplify.com and also internetbusinesspassion.com. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Nick. Take care.
There it is. Number 1, figure out what you're good at that might be of value to small businesses. Number 2, figure out what complementary services they're already hiring and create partnerships with those guys. And number 3, deliver the goods, keep them coming back month after month after month. So what do you think about this unique service business side hustle? I kind of like it. Let me know in the comments at sidehustlenation.com/episode 34. Have you ever tried something similar? Are you going to try something now? Let me know. All right, that's it for the show, guys. Thanks so much for listening. Until next time, go out there, make something happen, and I'll see you next week in episode 35.
Thanks for listening to The Side Hustle Show at www.sidehustlenation.com.